Good morning, Facebook. I'm going to do a quick video here on these diesel-fired heaters. Told you guys I would. I finally have it running the way I'd like. I've done some modifications, and I'm going to walk you through what I've done. So these are a 12-volt diesel-fired heater. I'm sure you've seen them all over the internet, Facebook, everywhere that you want to be. There's many different names, many different brands. This is the 8K version. I do not have a cover on it right at the moment because I'm showing you guys the interior on what they are and how they look. So let's get into it. You'll have to excuse me. This is the first video I have made. I do not have a tripod, so I'm doing everything holding my phone here. And so if I don't show you everything, I'm sorry in advance. Please ask questions if you do have any questions. So first off, you get your fuel tank up top, 5-liter tank, holds all the diesel that you need. Back here you got your pump, and down here is the main firing unit. This one, you can see this little gray box I have in here. This is one of the modifications that I have made to this unit. Underneath this heat shield is the pipe that came with it. It connects right here into a bigger pipe that I just now have exhausted out through an old chimney that is in my garage. This one I've rigged out. It normally would run on 12 volts battery or whatever you have lying around that's 12 volts. This one I've rigged out a little different, and I've put an adapter on, as I've mentioned. Right now I have it hooked into a 110 converter, 110 down to 12 volts. That way you can plug it into any 110 outlet, and it'll run just fine. The beauty of the system that I've built here is I've made it so that you can run off of 3 different power sources. So as I said, right now you have your 12 volts coming out of a 110 plug-in. To change it, this little connector back here, all you do, unplug. You got that connector now. Then it can connect into this lead that I've built to just hook into a regular 12-volt battery. Now these units are a little bit finicky as they do have a mandatory cooldown period once you hit the off button. So they do have to have power to shut them down correctly. If you don't, you run the risk of melting the unit, which can be very problematic. So you do have to be careful if you're running off of any power source that it has constant power all the time and non-interrupted. Now, like I just said, this is right now hooked up to the 12-volt 110 converter, but I do have it also set up for something else. As you guys can see, I have a Milwaukee battery sitting on the back of this unit. This does not come with the unit, but this is an addition that I've made. Again, all you do is plug back in your connector here. And it's going to be a little difficult because I'm doing this all one-handed. I might have to put my phone down 1 second. There we go. Now it is plugged back into this outlet. I have changed all the plugins to cigarette lighters, which are very handy. You can plug this right into your vehicle if you are camping or something like that. But I have it set up so that I can plug into this little guy right here, which is very handy now. So once that's plugged in, wires are back. What I'm hooked right now into running the 12-volt converter, which will run the Milwaukee battery. So it comes off the Milwaukee battery here, goes down into the box down here, converts it down to 12 volts, comes back out, plugs into here, which then runs into the unit. Now, running off of a Milwaukee battery is, again, I don't know how long these will last on a Milwaukee battery. I've never tested it, but it would be nice for ice fishing or, you know, heating up your ice fishing hut or a tent when you're camping and you don't have a constant supply of 12 volts. Milwaukee batteries or any batteries, like I said, there is a converter for DeWalt, but I'm a Milwaukee person, so of course that's what I have on hand. Now, once that is all plugged in, your unit's display will come on. There we go. I can see that the unit is on. Hold it. H3, I always go right to the max. Now it's going to start up and do its initial run. And as you can see right now, I am not plugged into anything in the walls or nothing. This is strictly running off of an M18 Milwaukee battery through the converter. These units do take a little bit to cycle to get running. You can hear the fan is on and running here in the background. So let's just let it do its thing. It might take a minute or two here to kick in. Pump has to kick in, glow plug has to kick in. You got your fuse, so everything's fused in case of a problem with your voltage. These units do get rather hot. I believe the temperature coming out of them is around 250 degrees here at the nozzle. I don't have there is a ducting that comes off the front of here. I don't have it on here right now because I'm trying to heat a rather large space. Underneath here you can see your air inlet pipe and your exhaust pipe are really close together. And I just have the air inlet routed to there. You want to make sure you got good clean air. Oh, here we got the pumps kicking in. You can hear the ticks. And there we can hear the fire is igniting. And again, this is running strictly off of a regular M18 Milwaukee battery, which most people have in their garage. This will, like I said, also work off a DeWalt if you have the proper converter, which, because I'm a Milwaukee guy, I do not have the proper converter. The pump it picks up as the fire gets more intense. But once the unit is on, running, and warm, you barely will hear that pump ticking at all. Just a quick note. The exhaust on these units gets extremely hot. As you can see, that heat cover has been burnt already. I'm not exactly sure the temperature, that's why I have a little steel plate underneath it where it connects going into the chimney. When this thing is at full burn, I can't even touch the pipe right there at the chimney. It is that hot. So you got to make sure that you have these things well ventilated to make sure that you're not going to burn yourself or whatever it's running to. That is maximum sound that you're going to get out of this unit when it's at full run. The fan is at full max right now, and that's the loudest it will get. As I said, when things start to warm up, that tick that you hear in the background will start to calm down. But right now, because it is cold, it is taking quite a bit of diesel to get it running and up to temperature. These units are great in the simple fact that it's, self-contained, and especially with a Milwaukee battery on it, it's all self-contained. The wiring, I do have to do a little bit of changes to it. I'm going to shorten some of those wires, and that silver connector, I am going to put a hole into the actual back of the unit and mount that flushly. That way it isn't hanging here, but this is just, I'm still trying to figure out how I want to build it, and I'm still kind of tinkering with it. And yeah, there we go. She is running beautifully. I am already getting heat right out here at the nozzle. I can't really tell much here on the display. There we go. I can see it just bumped up to full blast. There we go. Yeah, we are running at full blast. And like I said, I already feel heat. Not very warm yet, but it just started it up. As a primary heat source in a well-insulated garage, might be alright, but in our northern climate up here, these will not heat very quickly. I ran this a couple of weeks ago just to try it. It took 6 hours in a garage to gain about 8 degrees, and it was about -4 degrees Celsius outside. So you can imagine how long it would take to heat a area. And I mean, my garage ain't all that big. That's kind of the size of a garage that I'm working with here, wall-to-wall sort of thing. So it's not all that big, and this is well insulated except for the door. So, keep that in mind. These are more designed for campers, trucks. If you wanted to, like I said, use it in your ice fishing hut, this would be an amazing idea, especially running off of a Milwaukee battery or DeWalt. So keep these in mind. They're not all that expensive. Everything that you see here I found on Amazon. If anybody's curious, I can send you the links on to what I used, including the converter and most of the wiring and everything. You can find that at your local hardware store. They'll have everything you need. But yes, yeah, let me know if you guys have any questions or comments. I'd love to hear from you guys. And again, sorry if this was not the most easy video to understand. I hope to do better in the future. Have you guys yourselves a great afternoon.